Hello everybody, my name is John from St. Endeavor, and today is a good day. The new 3 Days Grace album launched yesterday at midnight. I woke up at 3 a.m., listened to every single song a few times, got home from school, immediately ran through the whole album again a few times, and now I feel like I'm ready to give you guys my full in-depth review. Hopefully I'll be able to get this out on Friday, March the 9th, the day that this album drops. If not, at the worst, it'll come out tomorrow. So anyway, this is going to be my review of the full album. We're going to go in depth on every single song, and we're going to talk about every single song and give a personal rating on each one. If you want to watch my singles review, that's on the channel. You can go check it out. I'm sorry if you hear that scratching. That's my dog banging at my door. She wants in. Anyway, first off, we're going to go in order of the album and address every single song. We might skip maybe one or two, but I doubt it. We're probably going to address every single one. First up, Right, Left, Wrong. Right, Left, Wrong is probably one of my personal favorites off the album, and it's definitely deserving of being the lead-off track to this album. It opens up the album, opens up very nicely with a very nice eerie sound. The synths on this album sound very, very good, as well as it does with the song. Now, the song is very, very good. I enjoy it a lot. The instrumental is really good. The lyrical meaning's pretty good. The chorus especially, Right, Left, Wrong, right? What that basically means, if you weren't able to pick up on it, is right, left, no matter which way he goes, is always wrong, and he wants to run away from the situation. No matter what he does, it always just seems to get worse, so he just wants to move away from it, and he's just sick and tired of it. So I thought that was a very good song. My rating I gave on the singles review was a 9.5 out of 10. I feel like that rating is deserved, but maybe I can go down a little bit. There is a couple more songs on this album I like more that aren't perfect, so I would say that those songs would get 9.5 out of 10. So I'm going to bring Right, Left, Wrong down to a 9. Next up, you have The Mountain, which is the first track we got on February 25th. I believe I said 22nd in the singles review. 25th I'm going to go with. I think that's the correct date. The track is very, very good. I enjoy The Mountain. It's got a lyrical meaning we can all relate to, and the instrumental is a lot of fun to listen to, and it's very good for a workout song with the UFC-inspired music video and everything. So that's kind of what I feel like the song is meant for. It's a workout. No other song on the album really has this except for Me Against You, maybe. I thought the song was very, very good. I was very entertained by it when it first came out. I didn't love it, though. I would probably give it a 7.5 out of 10, which I believe is what I gave it on the singles review. Maybe an 8 at the most. So we'll go 7.75 as our final rating. Because this does have a lyrical meaning we can all relate to. Climbing the mountain is an analogy for climbing your problem and trying to cut it out and get rid of it. And every time, it's got one of my all-time favorite lines in it. Every time I think I'm over it, I wake up at the bottom of it all again. That's a really, really good line. I don't know why I did this. I'm not editing it in. Anyway, that's one of my all-time favorite lines from the song, and any song for that matter. And I enjoy the track. It's just not perfect. It could have been a lot better. Now we have I Am an Outsider, which is our third track we're going to be looking into, which is the title track, Outsider, I'm an Outsider, almost like Skillet, Awake and Alive. Sort of with that aspect. It's not the exact same, but it is the title track. So I think it's pretty good. It's something that we as fans of this type of music can relate to. Because we love this type of music. It's a blast to listen to. It just is. It sounds good and it has good lyrical meaning and it's just a lot of fun. But it's looked down upon almost, and we're seen as like outsiders or emo or whatever for listening to it. I think that's stupid, but it's a lyrical meaning we as fans can relate to. And overall, the I am an outsider. I don't care about the in crowd. I'm better off on my own. That's a very good lyric. I enjoy it a lot. And overall, the instrumental for the song is pretty good. The only problem I have with I Am an Outsider is that it's not fucking long enough. It's only 2 minutes and 40 something seconds, 2 minutes 43 seconds, I think. But when you love a song that much, you just fly by it in what feels like about a minute, and it's kind of annoying because I'll be hyped that the song comes on, and then all of a sudden it'll be over in what feels like a second, and I'll be like, damn, well now I want to replay it, but I don't want to pull out my phone and hit replay. So yeah, overall I thought the track was really good. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10, or maybe an 8.75 because I did like Right, Left, Wrong a little bit better just for the length. Alright, well anyway, now we can get into the rest of the album, and this is where the video is going to be cut up a little bit, because every single song is kind of hard to talk about in one go. So the first song we're going to be talking about from the main album is Infra-Red. So Infra-Red is a very fun track. I really, really, really enjoy the instrumental on it. The way that it starts off with the kind of like wind sound, it almost sounds kind of like It's All Over. At the very start, that very split second you think, it's all over. I can't snap. I don't know why I did that. I embarrassed myself. It almost sounds like It's All Over in a way, with just the very start. The rest of the song is completely different than It's All Over. Um, the opening guitar riffs, how it kind of sounds like it's from a distance at first, and then it sounds like it gets really up in your face. And I really, really enjoyed this track's instrumental. It's probably one of my favorites off the album, instrumental wise. The writing is pretty good on this track too. It's one of the longer tracks. I believe it's 3 minutes and 50-ish seconds, somewhere around there. And what the lyrical meaning on the writing, or the writing on this track and the lyrical meaning being, is that the Infra-Red, he can see somebody else in Infra-Red, and he feels like he can see them in Infra-Red. That person is very similar to them, or maybe he's talking about a group of people that's similar to him, but I think it's one person. He says you a lot. Like you is in one person. That you don't say you to a group of people. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's talking about one person who he can see through. He sees them in the room. Out of everybody, he sees them. He can tell that they're special. He can tell that they're different with infrared vision is like an analogy for it. I really, really enjoyed this track. And by the way, ignore these top 10 ratings. If I give a song an 8 out of 10, that doesn't particularly mean that it's better than any other song. This is just my overall rating of the song. And with Infrared, I'm probably going to give it maybe a 9 or an 8.5 out of 10. Probably going to go with 8.5 out of 10. This is a very good track. Next track is Nothing to Lose But You. Now this track is pretty good. It's not, I wouldn't say it's as good as Infrared. The instrumental just isn't as strong. It's not a track that I think I'm gonna go back and listen to over and over and over again like some of these, but it's still a pretty solid track. The transitions between acoustic and electric guitar are done very, very well, and how they go back, bounce back and forth. They kick in very well when they're needed. I wish they would have used the acoustic guitar a little bit more, though. I feel like they could have used it in some spots a little better. The lyrical meaning's pretty good. He's got nothing to lose but this person. I'd imagine it being a girl, and how this person saved him, or like helped him through some really rough times, and he loves this person, and he did something wrong. He messed up at some point. He did something bad to, like, I don't know, ruin the relationship or make it worse or get the person very upset at him. And he's thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna be okay if I don't know you anymore. If I don't talk to you, if I don't get to see you, I don't know if I'm gonna be okay. It's like he doesn't know if he's gonna be able to get through it. He knows he's eventually going to have to leave it behind, but he doesn't know if he can. And I feel like that's a pretty good lyrical meaning. Overall, I think the song is pretty good. I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty good song. I wouldn't say it's as good, but the lyrical meaning and the acoustic guitar are very, very good. So that's what pulls this song up for me. Anyway, on to the next track, which is one of my personal favorites off this album, Me Against You. So we have probably my favorite track on the album. This is a very enjoyable track. Maybe it's just because I can relate to the writing because of my relationship with someone right now. But Me Against You is a very, very good track. I enjoy the hell out of it. It's something that pumps me up, makes me happy, makes me angry at the same time. It's a good emotion to have at the same time. Any song that can draw emotion out of me, in my opinion, is a good song. And that song brings it all out. And it's not... It's like if you have a song that brings out emotion that's depressing and it makes you sad, that's a good song. That's a really, really good song. But when it makes you happy, it's even better. It's like it pumps me up, it motivates me, it makes me want to fight back. It makes me want to stand up and fight against this. A fight against anything that's oppressing me, anything that's controlling me, anyone who's bothering me. It pumps me up. The electric synth and the keyboard at the start, the keyboard eventually gets replaced with the bass line and a drum. It's really good. I really enjoy the instrumental on this track. The verses are pretty good too. It's like, if you got something to prove, fucking bring it. You can throw whatever you want at me. Nothing's gonna work. I'm winning this. And it's like that. It's just really, really good. It's like, come on, let's just get it done. Let's get this shit done. Me against you. That's how it's always been. That's how it always will be. Let's fucking go. Let's keep fighting. And I really enjoy this track. It's probably my favorite off the album. I would probably give it a 10 out of 10 rating, but I feel like the writing could have been a little bit better. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's one of my personal favorite 3 Days Grace songs of all time, and I just enjoyed the hell out of it. Not to mention, they use the swearing very properly in this song. Not like Right, Left, Wrong. I feel like it was unnatural in that song. In this song, it works. Next track is Love Me or Leave Me. Now, Love Me or Leave Me is a pretty decent track. I feel like the instrumental is kind of weak throughout the point. The chorus is really, really good, even though it's just the same line. Will you love me or leave me forever? That's the premise that he's trying to get across, and he says it over and over again to get it in your mind. It gets a little repetitive, but that's fine. The chorus is the best part of the song. The instrumental gets better during the chorus, but The instrumental throughout the verses, I just don't enjoy it that much. The verses themselves are okay, the actual writing on them. He basically is talking about how he at the beginning he talks about how he gets attached to people easily, and he doesn't like the fact that he has this person that he wants to be with, but they just keep leaving and then coming back and leaving and coming back, and every time they leave, it hurts him more and more and more. Which isn't a terrible lyrical meaning, but the instrumental, like I said, is just kind of weak throughout the song. So for me, it's instrumental over writing, because if it has bad writing and a good instrumental, I can listen to it. If it has good writing and a bad instrumental, I can't listen to it, because it's just like the writing is kind of obsolete when you have the instrumental. It's like with the Mountain, right? It's like I love the instrumental, but the writing's not that good. I could still enjoy that song. This is kind of the other way around. So I'm gonna give this song a 6 out of 10, despite the fact that it's not bad by any means. It's just not perfect. It's just not as good as I want it to be. But not the whole album. Not every song on every album is gonna be amazing. Not every song on every album is gonna make your playlist. So I guess this is that song for me. So far, this is the lowest rating that I have given on this album. Next up, we have Strange Days. Strange Days is a pretty overall decent track. I wouldn't say it's one of the best. The lyrical meaning is kind of all over the place. It kind of goes back and forth between how Matt's looking forward to the strange days and how he's also kind of worrying about it. But he doesn't, like, mostly you can pick up that he doesn't care. Like, things are going to get worse, he thinks. Things are going to get a lot worse. And he just wants to push through it and celebrate through it. That's actually a line, is to celebrate through the strange days, through the dark days, I think it is. Celebrate through the dark days. So, not terrible. The instrumental's alright. That kind of carries the song a little bit, in my opinion, because the lyrical meaning for me just isn't there. The synths at the start are pretty good throughout the song. They're used well. I don't know. The drum line is just kind of, like, at the start it's kind of cool, but then throughout the middle it gets kind of low. This is probably one of my least favorite songs on the album, looking at it now completely. I'd probably give it a 4.5 out of 10, because it's not horrible. It's just almost like the other song I addressed that was a 6. It's just not as good as I want it to be. And to be honest with you, this song I feel like is kind of a throwaway for this album. I know there's probably some of you out there who are probably thinking, wow, it's my favorite song. You're an asshole. But I don't know. It's just my opinion. I bet you there's some songs that I love on this album that you don't like. Leave them in the comments below. That's why it's there. So you can comment. You can give your opinions. To me, this song has the best writing of probably any 3 Days Grace song, maybe 2 exceptions I can think of off the top of my head. Out of any 3 Days Grace song, Villain I'm Not has absolutely beautiful writing. Maybe it's just because it's a lyrical meaning that I think I can relate to very well. But what it is that he knows that he would do anything for this person. The person puts all the blame on him, because that's an easy thing to do. When you have someone that inside they care about you enough to where you can put the blame on them. You can lash out at them, and they will still be there for you. So that's what Matt is in this scenario towards somebody else. And he knows that this person lashes out. He knows that deep down they know that he cares and that they care about him. But he just takes all their abuse, all the mental abuse, everything from them. Takes all of it. Things keep going wrong in their life, they keep throwing it on the Matt. They find a way to try to make it his fault. Now, that's a lyrical meaning I feel like I can relate to in the way that some of the things go in real life with some people I know. With basically them trying to throw the problems onto people that they know care about them because they know they won't lash out and leave them, basically. Song is very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful writing. The instrumental's pretty good too. I'd probably give the instrumental a 7 out of 10 and give the writing a 10 out of 10. We're going to average that out and give this song about a 9. One of my all-time favorite songs to listen to, and I enjoy the hell out of it. Villain I'm Not, very, very good song. It's something that I can relate to. And one more thing about the writing is that, what's sad is that he knows that he asks, would you do the same for me, basically? He knows they wouldn't. That's the sad thing. He knows that he wouldn't. He knows he cares too much. So to me, that's very beautiful writing. It's something I can really relate to. So that's why it's one of my personal favorites off this album. So I posted a comment on this video. This song is Chasing the First Time, by the way. I posted a comment on the topic video, which would be this version here, these types of videos. I posted a comment on there saying that the beat sounded kind of like Chalk Outline, and the comment already has over 20 likes, I believe. So maybe some people agree with me. The first maybe 30 seconds of the beat sounds like a kind of toned down Chalk Outline. I don't really like that they reused that beat. It worked well in Chalk Outline. I don't think they should reuse beats like that. It just sounds way too similar to Chalk Outline. Anyway, I do like the lyrical meaning of this song, although the instrumental, obviously, as I said, sounds kind of similar to Chalk Outline, so I don't enjoy it that much. Lyrical meaning's pretty good for this song. So what he's chasing the first time. Now when you read that title, you think chasing the first time, chasing that first high off drugs, chasing that first time for like sex or something like that. You can interpret it like that if you want to, but that's not how it's meant to be. The lyrical meaning for the song is he's chasing the first time of how like his relationship with someone used to be. He wants it to go back to the way it used to be before things got complicated, before things got messed up. And I think that's a very relatable lyrical meaning. Sometimes you do things wrong or they do things wrong and it permanently ruins your relationship with someone that you have like really good chemistry with or that you really enjoy talking to. And sometimes things just happen and things never seem to be the same as they were before. So I feel like everyone can relate to that. So the writing is that good on this song that I'm going to bring it up from my original rating was going to be 4 out of 10. I think I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10 just because the instrumental could be, I'll give it a 7. I feel like the instrumental just really brings the song down. It sounds way too similar to Chalk Outline, but the writing is really, really good. And that's something that I've seen in a couple songs on this album so far. But overall, we're going good so far. I really enjoyed the album up until this point, and we only got a few songs left to cover, so let's get into that real quick. The next song is The New Real, and once again, we have some really, really good writing. This song's writing is very, very good, as well as the instrumental is very catchy. Especially during the chorus. I think it's very, very catchy, and it's something that I can listen to over and over and over again. Now, the song basically with the writing, the new real, is this the new reality he's asking? As he thinks, is this what it takes to be special? You have to own a nice car, you have to be rich. Everyone's just over here groveling, trying to be famous these days on social media and stuff like that on YouTube. Everyone's just groveling and begging. No one cares about emotion anymore. No one cares about each other. Everyone's just trying to improve themselves, become famous. They're all wannabes. And he's asking, is this the new reality? Is this the world we're living in? Is this the new real? To me, that's some very, very good writing. It's a very good lyrical meaning. It makes you kind of think. He's so right. That's the thing that I picked up off the song is he's so right. Someone who owns a Maserati, I butchered that. Someone who owns a Maserati. Does that make them special? No, it fucking doesn't. Someone who took a vacation, no, that doesn't make them special. Someone who's dating a hot girl, no, that doesn't really make him special either. It's like all these little materialistic things that people are trying to get. They're trying to all be famous. That doesn't make them special. People need to start caring about emotions. This is the new real, and he's kind of upset about it. He's kind of sad about it. So the new real, very good song. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. Very, very good track overall. And now we move into the final track of this album, then we give our summed up thing, which is The Abyss. Alright, so we go to the final track on this album, and it's The Abyss. Now, this song kind of sounds like a Starset song, to be honest with you. Depending on if you like that band, that's a good thing or a bad thing. For me, it's okay, because they're an alright band. Their first album's pretty good, their second album isn't so good. Anyway, we're not going to talk about Starset. I just thought that was a comparison that I could make. The Abyss is a pretty decent song overall. The instrumental's pretty good, lyrical meaning's pretty good. Well, the instrumental's decent and the lyrical meaning's decent. Let me rephrase that. It's overall probably a decent song. I think the new real might have been well, I think it would have been a much better choice to close off the album and maybe put The Abyss before it. But I feel like they I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of this track overall. The lyrical meaning's alright. He's just wondering if he's already too far down, if it's already too late for him, if he's already too far into the abyss, which is, if you don't know what an abyss is, it's an endless depth, which is really deep down. Well, not endless, but like really fucking deep. Alright, you get the point. But I don't think it was that good, and this was ironically the track I was looking forward to the most because I thought they could do a lot with this title. But I didn't get what I wanted with this. Maybe it's because I overhyped it a little bit, because it's not a bad song by any means, but maybe it's because I overhyped this track, and if I wasn't going to get anything amazing, then I was going to be upset with it. So maybe I overhyped it, maybe that's my fault. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. So if you want to go back and look through all the ratings, that's all of them. Overall, I think this album is very, very good. Do I think it's 3 Days Grace's best album? No, probably not. But I feel like it's a big improvement on Human, because some of the songs on Human were very weak. And it's a very big improvement overall. This is probably the best record that 3 Days Grace has put out since Life Starts Now. That means better than Transit of Venus and better than Human. That's probably where it would fall for me. Better than Transit, better than Human, not as good as the first three. Maybe tied with the self-titled record. But to me, that's where it lies in. This is a very good record. The writing on it is extremely good. That's probably the highlight of this album. No song on this album has bad writing, in my opinion. The worst of the writing probably being either Love Me or Leave Me, just because it's very repetitive, are The Abyss. Those are probably the two songs with the worst writing, and they're both pretty decent on top of it. My favorite songs on the album, probably Right, Left, Wrong, I Am an Outsider, Me Against You, Infra-Red's pretty good, The Mountain's alright. Those are probably the favorites on the album. And the New Reel, obviously, as I addressed. Very good songwriting wise. So those are my final thoughts on the album. It definitely succeeded the expectations that I had. I was a little bit worried off of Human of what they were going to do with this album, but I'm very satisfied with it. I think it's very good, and I'm definitely going to buy it. So I think it's very buy-worthy. Which some of the other 3 Days Grace albums I don't think are. Like Transit of Venus, I don't know if that's buy-worthy. Unbreakable Heart and Chalk Outline kind of carry that album for me. So this is definitely at least a decent album. I enjoyed it. Overall, the rating I'd give for Outsider would probably be an 8 out of 10, just because some of the instrumentals sounded very similar to one another. The writing for every song, like I said, is very different. I don't think they didn't cover any lyrical meaning twice. Every song is different in that regard, which is good. But some of the instrumentals sounded very similar, and as I said, a couple of them sounded like older 3 Days Grace songs. With Infra-Red kind of sounding like something you would hear off of maybe 1X. Or, a song that's vintage, which is something they did in a few songs. Since a lot of the lyrical meaning sounded similar, and a lot of them sounded vintage in that way. They sounded very vintage, like Life Starts Now, maybe self-titled, maybe even 1X, a couple of the songs. So, yeah, that's my overall opinion of this album. I think it's very good, buy-worthy, I would buy it. So, little quick thing before we close out this video is, 1X came out on my birthday, which is June the 13th. Is it anybody's birthday today? I'm just wondering. If you're look up the dates for which the albums came out. Tell me if any of them fall on your birthday, or if your birthday's on mine, like which is 1X's date, which is June 13th, which I think is very good because it's my favorite record of all time. It's on my wall over there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I tried to get this review out as soon as possible. I'm a little bit tired, so sorry if I seem a little bit tired and I kind of raced through a couple of the tracks. So I'll apologize for that. But overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. Overall, I really enjoyed the album. I hope you enjoyed the album. Tell me what your favorite track is. Tell me what your least favorite track is. Give me all your track ratings in order in the I was about to say in the description, in the comments below. Instagram link will be in the description below. I might put my track ratings in there. I don't really think they're worth putting in there, so probably not. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will see you all in the next one. Peace out. 3DG for life.